Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Deidre B, and this is the Hot Spot. The Hot Spot. What's poppin', y'all? So, it's been a good, 6 months or so since I made a YouTube video, but I'm not gonna come on here and lie to y'all. We're not even gonna talk about it. Just life. Today's episode is going to be on podcasts on the Hot Spot, because I've been loving podcasts lately. So the job that I work at, I've been working like 12 hours every day. So if I'm not listening to music or books, I'm listening to podcasts. And my music playlists, they just get repetitive because I listen to the same 5 artists, y'all. And sometimes, I want to hear people talk. I want to hear people make me laugh and keep me entertained. So these podcasts that I have will definitely do that for you. So if you want something to keep you motivated, entertained, put you in a great mood, check these out. So number 1, The Read. So this has to be number 1 because this is my favorite. Y'all, I'm late. Like 5 years late, but that is okay. And if you haven't heard of The Read, that is okay. You can be late with me. So a couple months ago, I decided to start listening to The Read because a couple of my friends were like, you need to listen to The Read. And I'm like, all right. So eventually I was like, let me just go ahead and check this out. And I'm so glad I did. I just wish I would have listened to it a long time ago. But that's why they have all the old episodes that you can binge listen to. And it's amazing. So let me just say shout out to Kid Fury because he has this new little deal going on with HBO. I see you doing big things, and it's so crazy because I used to watch Kid Fury's videos like back when he did YouTube years ago, and I thought he was hilarious. And then Crystal, girl, I just love you. Like Crystal and Kid Fury are my spirit animals, and I just love The Read. And my favorite part about The Read is obviously the listener letters because it makes me be like, all right, my life isn't too crazy, because questions can go from something basic like, what's your favorite movie? To, my man, he cheated on me 3 times, he got a girl pregnant, and he has a wife. What should I do? Like, So I really love that, especially since now has a little section where she just shares some gems that her therapist gives her, and I'm just like, oh, yes. Thanks, girl. Whenever a new episode comes out, that's the first thing I need to listen to because it just puts me in good spirits for the rest of the day. And I just really think they're doing amazing things. So shout out to Crystal and Kid Fury. Check them out. If you have Spotify, they're on Spotify. SoundCloud also. If you just have Apple iPhone, they have a podcast little app, and they're on there too. So check it out. Everybody that I'm listening today is on the Apple podcast thing, so if you want something for free, you want to check them out, do that. Next up, there are 2 words to describe this podcast, and they are hot mess. That is the first thing that I think of when I think of The Brilliant Idiots. Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz, who I know from Guy Code, I believe, and then Charlamagne the God, of course, one of my favorite, shows, The Breakfast Club. Both of them together is just too much. It's a lot. So half the time I'm listening to this podcast, I'm like, I'm not sure you should be saying that. And then the other half, I'm just cracking up because they're just like I said, a hot mess. And let me just say this. I need Wax, who is Charlamagne's best friend bodyguard, to be on every episode. He needs to be a co-host because he has me dying every time he's on there. Because, sometimes I think I, don't know a lot of things that I should know. But Wax, yeah, he tops the cake for me. But it's okay. We love you. We enjoy you. So shout out to them. Make sure you check them out too. The Brilliant Idiots. The title says a lot. I would just be wrong if I didn't mention this. The homie Solomon has a podcast called Can Be Trusted Podcast where he highlights, up and coming artists, people who are just in the entertainment field, producers, rappers, poets, all kinds of people, and it's really awesome. He has it every Monday, so I'm subscribed. So every time an episode drops, I'm like, let me listen to this. Because I just enjoy his guests. Like, his guests are really interesting. So shout out to him for, doing his thing with the podcast. So Can't Be Trusted Podcast. Make sure you guys check it out. Solomon, hey, go ahead now. You see I'm supporting. You see we got to stick together. The LA alumni have to stick together. You feel me? All right, next up. This is more on the motivational side because, we all have those times where we just need some motivational things to listen to. And I found this person because, I was searching on YouTube one day. And I was like, motivational speeches. And I feel like if you've ever listened to a motivational speech on YouTube, you found one of his videos. And his name is Eric Thomas, aka E.T. So I watched one of his videos and I was like, and the first thing I remember him saying was, until you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, you will not be successful. Something along those lines. Don't quote me, but I think that's the quote. And I was like, yo, he out here coming for me, because look, yes. And he just, a lot of his gems are just so good. Like, it's so relatable. Like, everything he says is relatable. His entire story about his journey through life and how he was homeless at one point is just like, wow, like, it's very inspiring. And so I decided to follow him on Instagram because I be needing my little daily dose of motivation. And he has this thing where instead of thank God it's Friday, it's thank God it's Monday, because, you know, we're all so excited for Friday. We're like, ooh, the end of the work week, we can have fun this weekend. But he's like, no, you need to be that excited about Monday. You need to get it in every day of the week, okay? So if you guys want to get some good motivational, life inspiration, self-help, listen to his podcast. And shout out to him, because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be making this video today, because I needed his little motivation to get me through. Okay, the next up, and I recently started listening to this too, and I really enjoy it, and it's called Side Hustle Pro, and it's so good. So it's short and sweet. Like, the episodes, I believe, are an hour or less. I don't even think that long, maybe like around the 30-minute mark. Short and sweet, to the point. And the host has different Black women that she interviews, from nail salon owners to photographers to YouTubers to people who just own these big businesses, who turn their side hustle to profitable businesses, and they're doing creative things, who had their 9-to-5 and just ventured out, or just like, you just hear these people's stories. And it's so motivating to see that people could start where you started and how they're doing it, when, you know, it may seem difficult right now, but you gotta push through, and just like the challenges they face, but just the tips they have, just everything. I just love listening to it. So that one's a good one to check out as well. And that is all for my podcast that I've been listening to, that I've been loving and enjoying. You guys like my podcast and are gonna actually check them out, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. You know, your girl, I'm gonna come back. I don't know when, but if you want to come back and see me in other future videos, make sure you subscribe as well, guys. All right, bye.